I want to talk to you first about the written assignment because I've gotten several emails asking questions about it. And it's a little bit more fun, I think, than a lot of the other written assignments because you get to write about stuff that's in your own community. So let's see, I have it up here. So this week you're going to go out to your community to complete your assignment. And you are to pick two structures. So by structure, that means pretty much a building, a work of architecture. So a giant outdoor sculpture is not necessarily a work of architecture, and this is one that I get a lot. I get the bean. It's actually called Cloud Gate by Anish Kapoor. So this is an outdoor sculpture. It's not a work of architecture. Okay, so don't write to me about the bean. Find some interesting buildings. I know Chicago has a lot of interesting architecture. I'm sure you pass by some interesting architecture in your daily comings and goings. So you are to pick two structures. I really prefer that you take pictures of them. They can be pictures with your cell phone. If you don't have the ability to take pictures, then you can try to Google some pictures, but it really has to be something that you can see in person that also has a Google image available to it. So it has to be something that you walk by and can actually see for yourself and not just visit Google and tour your own city. So I think it would be much more fun to take pictures of it with your phone if you can, or whatever camera you have, and send me two pictures. There are two parts to this assignment, so part A and part B, and then the terms, okay? Does everybody see that? So for part A, you're gonna get me the picture, upload the picture, and put them in a Word document, and then identify the city and the state. And we know that Chicago is not rural. So if you cannot find a picture, I would rather you find me a picture on Google than just write this part of it, okay? Because it just really doesn't give enough information. You know, I'm not there, so I can't tell if you're doing the assignment correctly or not because I can't look at the architecture that you're looking at unless you show me a picture. So show me a picture, whether it's yours or Google's. I prefer yours. Part B, beneath each image or description, identify it as either communal or individual. Those words mean communal is like an apartment. Communal means groups of people live in it, or it's a workplace, a hospital where many people live there or work there or spend time there. Individual is just an individual house. So maybe you're walking by, just an individual's property where only one family lives or only one person lives or works. So that aspect sometimes confuses people. Then write 3 to 4 sentences that define the identifiable architectural and design elements. So I need 4 terms for each description. So these are the terms you have to use right here. It says terms. I need 4 of them used for each description. I prefer different terms used in each description, although you might have 1 or 2 that repeat themselves. And I want you to put those terms in bold. And then here's an example so you can use your home, you can use your neighbor's house, you can use your apartment building, you can use your school. Any buildings, any works of architecture that you spend time at or that you walk by or drive by every day. Or if there's a really cool bridge, a bridge might be an interesting work of architecture that has some of these things. But facade, post and lintel, arch, look up these terms before you go and find your architecture so that you know them when you see them. Then it'll be super easy to write about. It's due on Friday, and then you post it down here below. And I'm going to show you a couple of examples from a previous course of a student who did a really good job. So here are her works of architecture, and she did it like a chart, and you can do it that way. That's super easy. And see how her terms are in bold. We have 4 terms in each for each piece, and these look like buildings that she could have easily looked at. Here's another one, a different person with the same last name. And he sent me the pictures. I wish I could pull them up. I don't know what happened to them. But we see the terms in bold. We see, and he actually used more than 4 terms. And chances are you'll see more than 4 of these in there. So, and then here's an individual dwelling or a house, a 2-story house on his grandmother's street. Okay, So not too hard, just a chance to use your art vocabulary from this module and also module 2. Some of these terms can be found in module 2 if you're not sure what they mean. To use your art words to tell me about your community and the world that you live in. So let me get rid of these. And let's talk briefly about the the discussion boards. A lot more of you are participating in the discussion board in module 4, so that was awesome to see. But a lot of you are still losing almost half your points by not making that second reply. Remember, you get the full 10 points by posting a second substantive reply to a classmate. So agreeing or disagreeing, posting one sentence, and copying and pasting your initial post twice does not count. Just because the same thing is posted twice does not mean that you're getting credit for it. So, okay, let's look at the discussion board for this week. That will be due on Wednesday. And this is about art and censorship. So these are this is a situation where Chris O'Feely made a work of art called the Holy Virgin Mary, and he used elephant dung as material. As instead of paint or clay or whatever, he used elephant dung to make it. And then he surrounded the picture of the Virgin Mary with pornographic images. So this is a sensations exhibit was the name of it. And this is kind of a confusing question, but if there were standards that the exhibit was funded by taxpayers, what would your standards be? And why would you not require standards? So this is about censorship in artwork. Should there be standards for censorship in artwork in an exhibit that's funded by the taxpayers or not, and why or why not? And this is your personal opinion. It says here not to do research. I really suggest looking up this piece or looking up the background about it because elephant dung is actually a sacred material in some cultures. So he's making an interesting comment there. It's not just as straightforward as putting poop on um, a representation of the Virgin Mary. I'm not saying it's totally innocent, but it's not as straightforward as that. So it might be interesting for you to do a little background research on that just for a couple minutes, a quick Google search before you formulate your opinion. So be sure that you post one post and post a response, okay? And I was really happy to see so many more of you participating in that. So that's all for Module 5.